So on today's episode of Podcast and Chill, Meg G and the podcast, he actually shared a particular portion that I wanted to go through over there, and we'll come back here. But on top of that particular testimony, there is actually an audio that Advocate Puleng actually sent me, and you'll remember that I said if you guys wanted to send viewers' sentiment about this particular story of TB Joshua, you can send on this particular story, either be video or audio and so forth. And so Puleng had actually sent a thing, and I wanted to share that alongside Meg G's podcast, whole testimony thing and all that entire thing that she actually says. It's the Reality Show with daily Christian commentary videos. If it's the first time over here, do be sure to check out some other videos that are down in the pinned comments, and I'm going to check you out when you get over there. Now, as I stated, in this discussion, I'm going to share those particular two clips. I'm going to share McG's thingy, which is what you're seeing in the title, but then also I'll share Puleng's particular portion. Now, on today's episode, you can see the particular thing in the episode 518. If you are on that episode, there is a comment that McG made. He didn't expand on it, but he did actually state something that I thought quite interesting. If it's one person saying something, it becomes very easy to dismiss. But then when multiple people are saying things, that's where the concern is that there's multiple stories that come out that sound like they paint a certain picture and so forth. And so that's what I thought about this particular one. And so if you are in that podcast, this is how McG puts it.
Building that crashed.
Yeah.
So apparently there would even be bodies. There were actually bodies inside that building, and he
And it
was
a
aware of.
sacrificial, apparently.
Wait, bodies
Apparently.
before
Okay, so what they're talking about, that's their comment on that. That's not what I'm looking for. All right.
the building collapsed, there were bodies in the building.
Is this Nigeria?
Yes,
Yeah,
in
TB
Nigeria.
Joshua.
Oh, my
Yeah.
aunt passed away there.
Oh, is it?
Are you supposed to
Yeah.
run
No, it's from my dad. Yeah, from my dad's side.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Shame, sorry.
So
So that particular comment there, he said that, and they passed over it because that was not the focus of the entire story. And so is that he has a family member that died over there, not at the collapse, but they died following that church. And so on this episode, one thing is that he doesn't say that they died while they were there or they died while following that church. But one thing for sure, they were a follower to a point where they actually used to do their visits and all that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll expand on it or maybe not. But that's not really the focus, because that's just an independent story of someone who has a big platform like McG, all right, who is saying that. Now, I did state that I'm going to show you something that one of you guys actually shared, which is Puleng. And Puleng had sent me this audio for viewers' remark, and I thought it was quite an interesting comment going with what has been said or what you heard from McG and podcast. She sent me an audio, and I'm going to play you that particular part right now. If you can hear a noise, don't mind it. It won't be too long.
Hi, Ricky. I'm responding to your request on your community page that you want to do a viewers discussion. I don't know what you call it, but I just thought, let me just bring in my contribution as somebody who has experience with the SCOAN, because I went there 4 times. The last time I was there, I think it was 2017, 2018, somewhere there. I can't remember, but that was the last time I went. For me, I was interviewed by somebody who is a pastor. She had been there, and then she recommended, she said, this is a good guy. You know, at that time, to be honest, I didn't know anything about false prophets. I didn't know that there's somebody who can just run a big church not being a man of God. But yeah, I went there 4 times. There's another man of God who tried to advise me against it, but then I didn't listen. I actually thought, this guy, maybe he's just jealous of this powerful man of God. Only to learn later, years later, that he was actually speaking the truth. But the reason why I'm sending this audio is because I'm trying to tell you that, Ricky, I believe these disciples 100%. And that's the first reason. The second reason is because, I just said, let this be my contribution to what God is doing, because I really want to believe that this exposure is a God thing at this time. You know what used to surprise me when we were in that place, there would be no prayer going on. I remember I used to live what they call a hotel, which is actually not a hotel. It's like a bungalow, to be honest, because there will be 20, 15 people sleeping in this one room. So it's not a hotel. It's like just bungalows. Then I would go to the church to go and pray myself, or maybe in the middle of the night or early hours of the morning, I'll just be praying, quietly, because there's no space for prayer at all. That's the first thing. The only time you'll spend 7 days there, but there's only one church service. What kind of a place is that? Such a big church which does not make room for us to be praying together. The second thing that makes me to believe them is because I remember at one stage, Bisola did mention that, people would be forced, people would be given pills and water and pills in the food and in the water. When she said that, made a lot of sense, because I remember when we were there, they used to force us to eat food. They used to say, no, you have to eat, you have to eat. And I remember even the water, we were told we are not allowed to drink any water except for the water that they were providing for us. So when she said that, then I began to realize that, that is why they were forcing us to drink their own water. That is why they were forcing us to drink the food. It was so that we should drink the pills in the water. It was so that we should drink the pills in the food, so that then you feel better, then you think you are healed. But when you go back home, all those pain come back, only to find out when you were at synagogue, you were actually being subjected to drinking those pills. That's the second thing. I'm reading here. So the other thing for me, which I know that for some people it may sound stupid, but this man actually molested.
Says the word. Eh?
I just don't want to use the R word because I know YouTube doesn't like that word, but that's what I'm trying to say. In my dream, when I woke up from that R thing, and I was so embarrassed. It was as if somebody saw me, but I was so embarrassed. I couldn't even ask anybody, because I thought people will think that I'm making up a story. Such a high profile man of God. But this is actually what happens. This is the truth. And I was very, very embarrassed.
So this, if you can hear a clicking sound there, it just kind of picked up in the middle of it. And so try to cut it out, but I can see that it's just going to remain. And so she did actually share this particular thing on her channel. If you can see there, my experience at thingy. And so you will get this full story there. Now, on this particular one, I wanted to share this particular two because these are two different people who are not in the documentary. Who paid them? Because the narrative is that people are being paid, right? So if people are being paid, who paid McG to say he is a family member that died at at SCOAN. Who paid? I was willing to say that she had her own experience. When she came out from it, she felt ashamed. It was who paid her. So the subject matter of no, people are paid and all these things, it dismisses a lot of things. But hey, you know what? People are going to believe whatever they want to believe. But if you are saying that no, it's all fake, who people are being paid, who paid them? Who paid them? Right? And so this is just the first episode. I wanted to couple up this particular two. I did see that Paul and Saul and McGeehan podcast, they spoke about it on today's episode, right? And so I thought to take that, and then one of the messages that one of you guys sent me to say, if you are saying they were paid, what about this one? That's why when you listen to what Cody Sheldon, okay, what Cody Sheldon said on his channel, he said, you know what, where there is smoke, there is fire. You know, it can't just be all breeze. You know, we have stated why most of the people that come from there, they just keep a positive picture and everything. It's because they benefit from getting members from that whole thing. So members who are in that particular region where they are, they can go and manage a church over there or whatever, and they can build a following from the people that follow TV shows from that particular region where they are. Now, I've stated that. Now, their personal experience, I don't know. Okay, they didn't talk about it here. No, it's fine. The ones that they spoke about was, you know, them, they're just going to keep. And you notice how all of them, they come out, they want to preach. All of them, they want to preach. They want to tell us to follow Jesus. They want to, so they keep the front, you know. But at the back of it, it's all these doctrines of people rolling on the ground, whatnot, and all that kind of a jazz. It's a lot of fluff, dismissing everything. If you dismiss everything, sometimes you might actually miss that there is details in it that is not being heard. And so that's one aspect. If you say they were paid, who is paying this one? Is there actually a show to daily Christian commentary video? I just had one question for this one. Nothing big, nothing major. One question. If you are saying that people are being paid, who is paying these two? Who is paying the other testimony? There is other testimony. Should we publish? Who is paying those other people? Because these ones were not on the BBC documentary. It's tricky. Each man his own.